Hello everyone, it's Dio from Firm But Fair Gaming bringing you another Diablo 3 video. Yesterday, Blizzard announced that the PTR is opening up on Thursday and will be open for 2 weeks, so that means Season 23 is coming. And they have some interesting changes, and let's not waste time. Let's just jump right into it. So the big change that they're going with is they are revamping the follower system. So the follower now will have a total of 14 different item slots, which include the relic, helm, shoulders, chest, gloves, bracers, the belt, the rings, everything that you wear, the follower can now wear, plus they have their relic. And so they're introducing also the new feature, which allows the follower to emanate and the players gain intended effect of certain legendary powers and set bonuses when equipped on the follower. So this is awesome. It's really going to buff solo play. And it has some interesting capabilities that are going to come as a result of that. So the follower can benefit from broken crowns. That means you don't need the rocket. That means you get twice as many gems that are going to drop. Gold skins, so you're going to get some more gold. Nemesis bracers, that's going to be very handy when you're pushing solo, so you always get to generate that elite off the pylons. We also have the big one here also for solo Greater Rift is the Flavor of Time, so now you're going to benefit from that as well. So you're going to have a minute of power, speed, conduit, twice as long shield. Like that's just going to be very sick to see how that plays out. So it's very interesting, the list of current legendaries that the follower is going to be able to benefit from. Also down here they have the Sage Journey, so you're going to get more Death Breaths and as well as more XP, so that's pretty cool. It's going to be interesting to see if they expand on this list, or hopefully they don't take anything away. I'm really interested to see how this is going to play out. Just with the NEMs and the Flavor of Time, that's pretty sick. So the Scoundrel is finally going to see some love. So they've reworked some of his abilities, as they've done for all of them. So he now has his Crippling Shot as a range attack that deals 140% weapon damage, and it slows enemies by 80%. He now has a Powered Shot that deals 100% weapon damage as Arcane to all enemies within 10 yards, and he has a 100% chance to stun enemies for 3 to 6 seconds. Hysteria, so whenever you or the Scoundrel land a critical hit, you both go into Hysterics, increasing your damage by 3% for 3 to 6 seconds. Anatomy, he increases critical hit chance by 1.8% to 4% for you and the Scoundrel based on the Scoundrel's dexterity. Multi-shot passive, so he has a special attack that 50 to 70% chance to fire 3 bolts. Vanish, so this is cool. They've added in this mechanic to all the followers. So the Scoundrel's is when you take fatal damage, the Scoundrel conceals you from enemies for 3 to 7 seconds and prevents you from dying. So now we may not need to take our second life talents. This is very helpful for hardcore. Or, you know, if you want, you can even have your second life, but now this kind of gives you 2 lives instead of just the 1 extra one. And this is probably what is going to make the Scoundrel the new preferred follower here. Knight's Veil, the Scoundrel launches a cloud that covers a 20-yard area and lasts 5 to 10 seconds. All attacks against enemies that are inside the cloud will be critical hits. So that is pretty ridiculous. He also has this new skill, Piercing Shot, so a range attack that pierces and increases damage done to enemies by 10% for 3 to 6 seconds. The Templar, so his skills are now based on his strength. So he's got Intimidate. Enemies that are hit by a Templar are slowed by 80% for 3 to 6 seconds, so similar to the Scoundrel, he's got a slow. He can charge a target, dealing 280% weapon damage and stunning all enemies within 8 yards. The Scoundrel, his stun was within 10 yards. He's got a taunt, so he can taunt enemies within 10 yards. And this, he also has, they reworked Onslaught, so it delivers a massive blow for 800% weapon damage and causes the target nearby enemies to take increased damage for 3 to 6 seconds. And then he's got Guardian. So this is the one, the second life. So when you take fatal damage, the Templar will rush your aid, knocking back enemies, healing you for 15 to 25% of your life, and then shielding you from all damage for 5 seconds. The Enchantress, so she's got Erosion. She conjures a pool of energy that deals 330% weapon damage as Arcane over 5 to 7 seconds. Enemies will also take 10% increased damage. Focused Mine, a 40-yard aura that increases attack speed for both of you by 3 to 6%. They reworked Powered Shield. Used to be powered armor, so reduces damage by 6% from range attacks, increases armor, slows melee attackers, so this is just a survivability. Temporal Pulse, so she casts a guided orb that deals 150% damage and slows enemies by 80% for 3 to 6 seconds, so there is her slow. Her skill is Amplification, increases your highest static elemental bonus by 5 to 10% based on her intelligence. Prophetic Harmony, so reduces your skills cooldowns by 5 to 10%. And then, of course, Fatal Lapse. This is her ability to save. When you take fatal damage, the Enchantress empowers you to speed up your movement through time for 3 to 7 seconds to avoid death based on her intelligence. And they removed Forceful Push, Mass Control, Disorient Missile Ward. They also have reworked how the leaderboards are going to work. So now you're going to be able to sort through the leaderboard and you can filter based on class sets. So you can see if you're not running the meta and you want to see how you're performing with that specific set. So they'll have class specific leaderboards here, class set leaderboards, which is pretty cool, as well as no class sets. So if you're running Legacy of Dreams, and then of course you can see the overall, which is how things are now, where everybody is there regardless of their sets. So that is really cool. So you can see your class sets. I'm looking forward to that because sometimes, you want to test out the other sets. You get tired of just running the meta. It'll give you more variety to do because now you can compete on the multitude of sets rather than just the meta set. So that'll be fun to see. Season rewards. So the two unique new rewards: a portrait frame and a pet when they complete the seasonal journey. Some item changes. So they have, for the Necromancer, they've made some changes to the Rathma set. So basically they've turned this set in that it's similar to like the Helltooth set and for the Witch Doctor, where the more minions you have, the less damage you take. So your minions reduce the cooldown of Army of the Dead, and your minions no longer take damage, and it reduces your damage reduction for each minion you have. The 6-piece is each active minion increases the damage of Army of the Dead and Bone Spirit by 1,000%. And then, so Bone Spirit's damage is increased by, Bone Spirit's damage is increased by 400 to 500% for every second it's active, and will also freeze enemies on impact. And then they've created this new item. We think this is going to be bracers. So Army of the Dead and Bone Spirit deal 300% to 400% increased damage, and Bone Spirit deals an additional 2% increased damage for 5 seconds each time Army of the Dead hits. So that's what they're doing there for the Rathma, so that's pretty interesting there. Bone Spirit has a unique, it has been previously used to kill lower end Rift Guardians. They kind of one-shot them because of the distance and whatever. You just stand very, very far away and you shoot it at the Guardian, but then by the time it gets there, it basically one-shots the boss. So this could be a new RGK into Season 23. We'll have to see, but that's one possibility. They've redone Firebird for the Wizard. So when you die, a meteor falls from the sky and revives you. Disintegrate ignites enemies, causing them to take 3,000% weapon damage per second until they die. The 4 pieces, you gain 80% damage reduction and 4,000 increased damage while Ignite is applied to a target, so that should always be up. Casting Disintegrate adds combustion stacks that reduce the cooldown of Teleport by 2%. Stacks up to 50 times, so you could basically, there's speed, just teleport as quick as you can mash the button. So this might be the new speed build for the Wizards. Then the 6-piece is hitting an ignited enemy with a fire spell other than the Disintegrate deals ignite damage multiplied by combustion stacks. So that'll be interesting to see how that works out. Now for a few nerfs. So Gears of Dreadlord for the Hunter set. Hungering Arrow pierces a maximum of 2 times while wearing the Gears of Dreadlord. So basically this is removing the multi-piercing that it was going through. In particular, it's dealing with how this would work against a dampening mod on an elite. So this is a big nerf. It won't have much impact in the lower end speeds that people will be doing, but it will definitely be impacting pushing. So this is a big, big nerf. And then for the Witch Doctor, Gazing Demise, the damage of Spirit Barrage is increased by 100% to 150%. Spirit Barrage gains the Phantasm Room that lasts twice as long, and the attack rate from Manitou Specters is increased. So prior, this used to be based off each spirit. So you used to have 3 spirits. So this could be, 300 to 450%. This is no longer the case. It is now based off just this 100 to 150%. So this is a big nerf. So this is going to impact the Witch Doctor's ability to kill trash, as well as their push. So this is an unfortunate nerf, as Witch Doctor is one of my favorite classes. And then they changed the Blackthorn's Jousting Mail. So this is just, they replaced one primary property with a random elemental damage FX. So this, I believe, is to get away from the Witch Doctor pants, the Swamp Lawn Waders, which is the only pair of pants that have elemental damage. So I think they are adding this just as a way to get rid of it. It'll be interesting to see what primary property gets replaced, but I think this is what they're trying to do is just move away from that, because it's kind of hard to get. You either need to party with a Witch Doctor or roll in yourself and then make it and all that sort of stuff. So we'll see how that works out. So those are the big changes that are coming for Season 23 that are going to be on the PTR as of tomorrow. We'll see how many last through and make it into actual Season 23. There was nothing about an actual buff aside from the follower. Maybe they'll come up with something or propose something. Maybe they'll bring something back that they used to do. It'll be interesting to see what they do. Either way, I'm excited to see the follower changes is pretty big. So they're no longer just just there for eye candy. So I'm looking forward to it. The capability or with having like NEMs and Flavor of Time is pretty interesting, as well as there is the set that, can summon all followers to your aid. So it'll be interesting to see if that stacks and does it work in group play. So there's a lot of different things that are going to be capable in the upcoming season. But yeah, this is pretty neat. This is cool. So we won't need to, this will help with some of the speed sets. You can just have your main set. You don't have to craft all that other stuff, as well as you can start augmenting your follower as well. So that'll be cool. So this is all the proposed changes for the PTR in the upcoming Season 23. I'll be checking it out, and I hope you guys too. Have a good day.